I don't want to make it seem like the old Jeff Petry is fully back. I want to akin this entire conversation to a Call of Duty Zombies analogy. I think most people here that are under the age of maybe 40 have played a game of Call of Duty Zombies before, but when you're playing this game, you're going out there just progressing in the world, you're buying guns, you're rebuilding barriers, you're killing zombies, etc. When you get taken down, and you go on the ground, you're dead, quote unquote, or you're close to being dead, one thing that your teammates can do to help you out is to revive you. Now, once you get revived, you don't have all your weapons unless you have a certain perk. You have to go out there, rebuy everything, you lose some money, you lose some of the progress that you have made. I like that analogy because when it comes to Jeff Petry, I'm not going to go out there and say that the Petry that went out there and scored 40 points in 50 games last year and who had 4 straight 40-point years before this year is back. He's just kind of revived. No, he's not as effective as he was, but he is still a heck of a lot better than when he was down and out a few weeks ago before Martin St. Louis stepped in. Let's go over Jeff Petry and talk about just how much this guy has improved and where we can go from here, because the overall trade conversation about Jeff Petry is really starting to tickle me fancy in a different way than it had before, because no longer are we talking about a player that legitimately makes the Canadiens worse. Jeff Petry under Dominique Ducharme was playing a game that a lot of people went out there and critiqued every single night. Shooting the puck into shin pads, overall laziness on the play. You could see his work ethic, you could see just the lethality that Petry had in the previous years to be completely absent in the Petry this season under Dominique Ducharme. You saw him yelling with Ducharme on the bench, and there was a whole bunch of animosity that looked like it was going on. Sure, you're not going to go out there and get a quote from either Petry or Ducharme saying that they dislike each other, but based off of what we had seen as viewers, when the cameras would pan in on the bench on the Canadiens, you would see that there definitely wasn't a solidified agreement most of the time between what these two guys were thinking. And for Jeff Petry, you could really feel just the way he was playing the game was indicative of a guy that just didn't really feel like he wanted to be playing the game anymore. However, I'm not going to go out there and say that that excuses the poor play that he did display, because when you're making $6.25 million a season with a modified no-trade clause and a no-move clause till you're 37 years old, you kind of don't have the right to go out there and not try, or not put your best foot forward, or not, at some level, be competent enough to justify that money. Jeff Petry earned that money for a reason, though, because as we had noted, his previous 4 years with the Canadiens saw him put up 40 points each, with last season having that done in 55 games. He was a mobile enough defenseman with enough hockey smarts to go out there and produce a heck of a lot of points. He wasn't the big body slapshot guy like Shea Weber. He wasn't the big body shutdown guy like Edvinsson or Sherratt, but he was the guy that went out there and really complemented the shutdown capabilities of those other defensemen, because it opened up lanes for Petry to go out there, do what it is that he was effective at, and it's why he produced so many points. Now again, under Ducharme this season, a lot of that pizzazz just seemed to fade away. But under Martin St. Louis, you take a look at where Jeff Petry is at here, and since St. Louis took over the Canadiens in, February 9th, the Habs have played, let's count it up right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, and Petry in this 9-game sample under St. Louis has 3, 5, 6 points. So 6 points in 9 games played under Martin St. Louis. Do the math on that. 6 divided 9 multiplied out by 82. He's on pace for 54 points. Now, sure, Jeff Petry had a lot better of a points per game number last year. But if you take a look at where everything was this season, from the entire stint with Ducharme to him getting fired to St. Louis coming in and playing 9 games over here, Petry with his 12-point marker in 47 games makes things skew a lot more in the negative direction when only looking at the points. But as I said, with Call of Duty Zombies, man, this guy, ever since St. Louis has come in, he's been revived. Let's go over some quotes that Petry had himself talking about how everything has gone down. He says that Martin St. Louis is a coach that he would like to play for a long time. He also said this, that St. Louis brought joy back in coming to the rink. And I don't know about you, but those are some really harsh words. Okay, no, not harsh. They're very impactful, I guess you could say. Because the implication here is, okay, St. Louis has made it fun again. There's joy in coming back to the rink again. A joy that, based off of this comment over here, had not been present before St. Louis was here. I don't really want to be the Dominique Ducharme sympathizer over here, but oh boy, if you're Dominique Ducharme and you see this out of Jeff Petry, you see how this guy is playing on the ice, and you see the comments that he's making about how much of a joy it is to play under a new coach. Like, if you had any doubts before that there were some problems going on between Petry and Ducharme, with these comments, it's really difficult to disagree with that entire notion now. But either way, you're starting to see Jeff Petry go out there and just play the game that he knows how to play a lot more than he had been before. Here are some quotes from other people in the media. Martin St. Louis said, "Jeff has been playing really good hockey since I've been here." And yeah, I gotta agree. Petry under Ducharme in 2021-2022, a lot different than the Petry under St. Louis in the, 9-game sample we have had so far for Montreal. This is another perspective I wanted to highlight as well from Eric Macramella on TSN. Jeff Petry is smart, mobile, poised, good on the power play, a smooth skater with a great first pass, and he shoots right. This combination is really tough to find. The Habs should keep him. At the very least, it would benefit the Canadiens' young developing core. Now, this is a completely different idea that we have not actually highlighted in too many videos here because we've talked about all the trade rumors. Okay, Philadelphia, Dallas, all these teams. But, has Jeff Petry's revival and the way he has been playing as of the past 9 games been good enough for you to justify the idea of keeping him? I'm not saying I would want to keep him or I would not want to go out there and make a trade, because in essence, if the Canadiens are going to go on a rebuild route and you want to say, okay, build for the future, build with the young guys, etc., etc., Petry, should he go out there and actually continue his stellar play as of late, he's probably good enough to get you a haul, right? He's probably good enough to get you a first-round pick, maybe another prospect on top of that, and maybe something else, if he continues playing at the way he has been playing under St. Louis. We said this entire thing every other time we talked about Jeff Petry getting traded. If you're going to trade for this guy, you have to be sure you're not trading for the Petry of 2021-2022. You're trading for the Petry that got 4 straight 40-point years. And now that 40-point Petry might just be coming back in this new revival under St. Louis, that kind of confirms that older version of Petry that is pretty offensively competent is still there. But at the same time, the perspective does bring itself up. Okay, he's improving his play. Does that not mean that it's better if we keep him? Rather than saying, okay, it means that we can get a better package for him in a trade? This is one of those really interesting philosophical arguments, I think. So you can go ahead in the comments and let me know all your thoughts about that. Trade Petry, keep Petry, see what he can do under a full season of Martin St. Louis, assuming St. Louis actually comes back and he sticks around as the full-time head coach. It's actually a growing sentiment that I've been seeing a few places here and there on Canadian social media. There have been a few articles written about it as well. The idea of just keeping Jeff Petry instead, because we are finally seeing the Petry that, admittedly not to the same extent, but that we sort of saw last year when they went to the Stanley Cup final. So let me know in the comments all your thoughts about this entire conversation over here. If you are still on the Jeff Petry train, do you think the past few games has really increased his stock? Or were you of the perspective that you should have had a high opinion of Petry anyway because of the stuff that he had done last year and the year before that? Therefore, these past 9 games don't really do much to increase his stock, but do more to confirm that his stock should have been that high in the first place. Do you want to trade this guy, or would you rather keep him long-term on the Canadiens' right side on the blue line, especially with the dearth of Shea Weber? Let me know in the comments all your thoughts about Petry. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.